Hey, welcome into Whoosh for your what's going to be weekly Saturday update on new comic books I picked up this week. So, I thought this segment would be really cool to go over the books I picked up from my local comic shop, Nick's Comic Strip, where I have a subscription. If you're interested in comics, definitely check out your local comic shop. They'll be able to hook you up with a subscription where you can set aside any titles or characters that might interest you. They'll put them aside, and sometimes they offer you a decent discount if you're in the Danvers area. I know that Nick's Comic Strip offers a 20% discount on any books that you get for the week, which is great. I absolutely utilize them all the time for all my books. So check them out, and let's get started on what books I got this week. So let's start off with Fall of the House of X, which is the cover seems really fun. The story itself is really dark. If anyone isn't familiar, the mutants for the last few years have lived on this continent called Krakoa, which is a mutant in and of itself. It's really interesting, some of the stuff they've come up with. I would recommend checking out Avengers, X-Men, and Eternals, which is a big storyline they tried to come up with. I did read this book before filming this, and it was definitely interesting. Cyclops is on trial, because what would be the mutants without some sort of persecution? But this is feeling like it's going to completely reset everything for the mutants going forward within the Marvel continuity, so highly recommend checking it out. And I do love a good Scotty Young cover, and Cyclops is my favorite X-Men, in no small part because, glasses. So check it out. Also get yourself an awesome, cool Scotty Young Cyclops cover. So really enjoyed this story. Can't say enough about it. My next pickup was Amazing Spider-Man 41 with this homage to Avengers #1. And if you watched my premiere video, which was about me unboxing, not unboxing, but showing off presents I received for Christmas, you would know that there was an homage cover in there as well. So here we're back again, where Minnie is once again Iron Man, Donald this time is the Hulk, Goofy is Thor, and it's a pretty cool one. We've got Mickey as Ant-Man and Daisy as Wasp down here too. So it's a really cool book. Love these covers, and I keep picking them up because I like collecting the Spider-Man too, and I'll explain to you why a little bit later. So here we go with a book I haven't read yet and I'm not familiar with, but again, this is the Scotty Young variant of Beware the Planet of the Apes #1. I don't know, something about it made me laugh, and when a cover makes me laugh, I tend to pick it up. And Scotty Youngs are really big in my house anyway. My wife absolutely loves Scotty Young covers, so we have an entire short box devoted to just Scotty Young variants, which bring us both a little bit of happiness and joy when we look at them, because Scotty Young is funny, and can't help but enjoy them. So I don't know, I'm interested to read the story. I haven't read it. If you have read it, or you're a big Planet of the Apes fan, check this out. If you have read it though, leave me some comments and let me know what you thought about it. Next up we have Critical Role, The Tales of Exandria 2 #1, and this is Artagan, who, for anybody who follows Critical Role, is actually vital in both campaigns 1 and 2. I'm not fully caught up on campaign 3 yet, but I do know Artagan is big in both of those campaigns, so I'm really excited to dive into this and read some more. And definitely check out the Critical Role comic book series overall. The first wave was released as digital only, minus a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive for #1. So they're kind of hard to come by, but I do believe if you have Comixology Unlimited, or maybe even Kindle Unlimited now, I know they merged those two apps, you may be able to read the first 6 issues for free on there. They're definitely worth checking out. I've enjoyed them. So I can't recommend those enough either. We've got our next book, which is Star Wars High Republic Shadows of Starlight #4. And this picks up after the first High Republic comic book series, where something happens with the Starlight Beacon, which was the Jedi Initiative back before everything we've seen in the prequels. It predates all of that. Obviously set during the High Republic era. Really good, I believe, 10-issue run. They keep doing them in little like 10 issue spurts. Fantastic. Can't recommend those enough. So check it out. Definitely interested in reading more about that as well. Here we have Darth Vader number 42. As you can tell by my wall, big Star Wars fan, big comic book fan for Star Wars as well. As I showed in my Christmas video, I have a Star Wars number 1. I don't know if you can see behind me, but I have a Star Wars Clone Wars number 1, the first Ahsoka and Captain Rex as well. So definitely love collecting the Star Wars comics. I've been collecting the Darth Vader run. One of my favorite runs from this, and I believe they're ending this month, is Star Wars Bounty Hunters. Check that out. It's really, really cool. I tend to gravitate towards the smaller on the ground people in Star Wars, so think Rogue One, Andor, and Bounty Hunters feels like that in a sense of there are some big stakes, there are some tie-ins with some of the bigger characters, but overall the story itself tends to be more grounded in people, and not so much the bigger, larger-than-life characters you grow to love in Star Wars, even though I do tend to love them based on, everything you can see. So that brings me to my second to last book. That is Venom number 29, where I believe something is going on with Dylan Brock in this run, and I just thought this was a really, really cool cover. I've been collecting them, and I'm going to try to read them all in like a bulk reading. I am going to try to get better at making sure I read more of them to provide more of a recap here too, so that is a promise I will make to you, that more of the weekly books that I show off here on Saturday that I pick up on Wednesday, I will have read before I show them. But I just thought this was really cool. I really enjoyed the Venom run, and I really enjoyed the 2018 Venom run that culminated in the King in Black run. It's absolutely fantastic. It introduces Null fully into the universe. He does cameo in Thor, God of Thunder, I believe number 6, when we're talking about like Gore the God Butcher, the Necro Sword, and all of that stuff. So he does pop up back in 2012, but he doesn't fully come into the whole scene until I believe 2019 or 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. 2018, I actually believe, is the kickoff of that. So definitely check out that run too. It's absolutely fantastic. Easily made me a big Venom fan, and that brings me to what I'm gonna make my pick of the week for a must read. It is Kid Venom Origins number 1. He was introduced in Death of the Venomverse number 2 and had small 5-page stories from Death of the Venomverse number 2 through Death of the Venomverse number 5. So about 20 pages worth of content. They put it into this special combined edition here, which is amazing. And it's fantastic. It's such a good run. It's definitely done in a manga style, and it's completely different from anything you would normally think of for Venom in a way. Instead of actually like, they're definitely bonded still. There's not a version of Eddie Brock. There's a character who would be the host, obviously, but the Venom symbiote kind of fights like Onis, and which are symbiotes attached to different things. One of the primary antagonists throughout this is a bear that it looks like a Carnage style symbiote is attached to, and the Kid Venom essentially shows up and fights and does battle with that, but the Venom symbiote actually eats other symbiotes to kind of keep going, to fuel itself instead of fueling on its host, which is great. Fantastic. Such a good fun read. I'm really looking forward to it. It looks like Kid Venom is getting his own solo series, obviously called Kid Venom. So can't recommend this book enough. This is 100% my pick of the week, not just because it's a Venom, but because it's a really, really cool take on the Venom story. I highly recommend it. Very, very much enjoyed this book. So earlier I mentioned that I'm collecting the issues. I'm collecting the Spider-Man books, and even though my Spider-Man books are homaging other covers, I'm still collecting them because they host Spider-Man. Well, and this will probably be one of the few times I mention this. Marvel does a thing with their comic books where they offer a complimentary bonus edition when you buy the physical edition. So for me, I absolutely love that as a comic book collector. I get to go and redeem the physical copy. I'm going to redeem the digital copy, and then I get to bag and board and collect the physical copy if it's a book I really want to collect and make sure it's preserved and saved. Well, Marvel does that, and they did that for a while where they would include the digital code, and then they tried this other option where you would go in, you would take a picture of the book, you would go to this website called marvel.com/redeem help. You would upload the picture of the book, and then you would request a copy of the digital code. So this is one of the ways you can get a digital copy of your comic book. It's super easy. It takes them maybe about a couple of days to a week to get back to you usually. I think they have a turnaround time of at most 2 weeks, and they'll tell you that. Sometimes they do get inundated. So that's one of the ways you can get it. And then another way is, like I mentioned, they just include the digital copy in the comic book. So you can go to marvel.com/redeem and redeem the digital version of the comic book, and you can have it on the Marvel Unlimited app. And here's what it would look like if it came with the digital code. So definitely think it's awesome that you have that option. I use digital reading all the time. I tend to really like it. Simply because it does give me the option of zooming in on a panel if I want, and I love having that option. I usually read one panel at a time as opposed to a page, which you can do with the physical book obviously, but you can still read page by page if you want. I just enjoy zooming in, looking at the entire panel and taking it all in. So check that out. There are options for digital comics on Amazon as well, where you can purchase them through the Kindle app. Well, and read through the Kindle now, not purchase them through Kindle unless you have an Android. You can't do that on an iPhone, but you could do it on an Android. So you can purchase them, read them through the Kindle app, and I think it's great. I use it when I travel all the time. I download a ton of books on there, bring them all. I only have one tablet with me that has every book I want to read in it. I don't have to carry a bunch of single issues. I don't have to carry a bunch of trades. It's super convenient to read that way. And then I highly recommend getting one of those services like Marvel Unlimited or Comixology Unlimited, if that's still, I believe it's still an option. I might be grandfathered in and I could be wrong about that. But definitely, if it's not there, Kindle Unlimited should have some comics as well for you. So definitely check out one of those subscription services if you're interested in reading and digital does spark your interest. But if you want to collect physically, I cannot emphasize enough to go check out your local comic store, support them, buy the books through them if you can. And if you get Marvel, you can buy it through them, redeem the digital copy, and still be able to read it digitally while supporting a local comic store. So those businesses are vital to the industry, and I can't emphasize enough to just read how you want to read and enjoy what you want to read. And just keep on reading. And let me know if you enjoy Kid Venom #1 if you end up reading it from today, or let me know what your pick of the week would be. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video, as it will help me know how many interactions I'm getting, who's watching, whether I should continue to produce this content, or if there's another type of content you would like to see on here. Leave me a comment about that, but please definitely like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you again next time on Whoosh. Thanks!